No.
It's crazy because I could attest to that, bro. It's like the first day I met you, like you came in, we helped me move in, then we was hanging out in the lobby. You was like, yo, go talk to Shawty over there. You was like, yeah, you go holler at her real quick, and then, and then you know the background, but it's just like
Right.
it's just that simple scenario, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like guys don't really understand. I feel like nowadays people are so uncomfortable with talking to females, but they don't understand. We literally all you have to do is have a simple conversation with them, and then that's all you have to do. It could lead to anything at that point. But if you go up to her and she shut you down from the jump because you was already trying to give her your number, it's like you don't know you don't even know her background. She might just got a
Right.
relationship. She might be with a man. You never know.
You never know. And she might be with a man. Look, that's the main thing. It don't even matter. Really, the man don't even matter. But that goes into the
It's the
longevity game.
principle. Yeah.
It's the principle. You didn't have the conversation. You just had a conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
She with a man, but just because you had a regular conversation, she's just gonna like that because she's in a relationship. So now she's being treated like she isn't in a relationship, which that's what they like.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast, your source for living a healthier lifestyle and developing a better mind, body, and soul. Through guidance, tips, and stories of highly successful fitness gurus, athletes, and individuals who are passionate about enhancing all aspects of life, we provide you with the tools to help you take your lifestyle to another level. And now your host, Quinn Mitchell.
Welcome to Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. This is your host, Quinn Mitchell, and today I have a very special guest, Kyle Whitaker. He actually played with me at Dean College. He played football, and he went on to play Division I. How you doing today?
What's going on, my boy? Blessed to be here. Happy to be alive, especially in the times that we're in.
Yes, sir. So for those not familiar with you, would you mind giving a brief introduction about yourself?
I'm just basically a regular guy. Not out of the ordinary, God-fearing man. I'm an athlete, 24, about to turn 24 into this month, trying to make it like everybody, making it like a lot of people are trying to. That's the difference. You gotta find your way, through your mindset. And I found my way. I've always had a certain mindset about myself my whole life. So, I'm just here to help. I'm just the kind of guy who's trying to help everybody get to where they need to be and have the right intentions.
Yes, sir. Also, if you don't mind me asking, I know we played back in Dean. I played basketball. You played football. So
Right.
When did you first start playing football?
Shit, I started playing football about fourth grade.
Or
When I first got out there, I was like, what? I was a basketball player. I played basketball, baseball, Boy Scout, all that kind of stuff. So, I came from a whole lot of different stuff, but I chose football, contact sport. I was a bigger kid, so it was just something that I was just always wanted to do. And I'm just a competitor, really.
yeah, you better than me because I ain't gonna hold you. You know me on basketball, dude. I played football for a week, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, nigga. We put on them pads. I ain't make it past the first practice. I ain't going back.
Nah, hey, I'm right there with you. I think the first time I actually went to a football game or football practice and stuff, it was third grade. And I was still playing basketball at the time, but I'm seeing all them getting yelled at. I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah, but you made it out there. You made it be something great. So what obstacles did you have being a student athlete? Because I know when I met you, you was already deep in it. You was you like the hall manager. You was something like that.
How was fun? Nah. I was a community advisor,
Yup.
And that's back when I was community advisor, orientation leader. What else? I used to work in the gym.
Yeah, you had a lot of titles on yourself.
Yeah. As an athlete, it really, first things first, you gotta know what you're trying to do and what your intentions are for the sport. And if it's for you, because I'll tell you right now, like, everyone has the the dream of going pro and doing that kind of thing. But I knew for myself, going pro wasn't my only option. I was just really using football as a platform, you know, to get to the next level. And the thing I used to see amongst my peers and the people who are in the same boat as me, and when I say in the same boat, like same sport or, you know, college athlete, a lot of people only looked at the sport and then looked for the other stuff on the outside, and they'd be like, man, you focus on everything. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to. You gotta have
You gotta have a backup plan.
Yeah, you gotta have a backup plan, and you know, it comes into, you gotta have different facets, you know, facets of money, different personalities, know when to switch up your game. When I say your game, like your conversation, your verbal speech, when it comes to like kind of people you're around. And I think that's a big thing for being an athlete. You know, you don't always have to just be the athlete. That was one thing my father used to always tell me when I first started getting my looks in high school was, you know, if you ever get interviewed or get approached, always speak about the team, don't speak about yourself. You know, you got to be able to look like something else. You know, you don't have to always be the athlete. You know, you want to look intelligent. You want to know that, you know, there's more to you. So yeah.
So how did you personally balance out though? Because like being a student athlete, then going to class, and then having a social life as well. Because I know a lot of people struggle with that. Because they either do too much of one thing and not enough of the other, or they just don't do anything at all. So how did you personally do it?
Shoot. Well, personally, I was always the kind of guy who didn't really like. I used to use my charisma to get past the schoolwork and stuff. But I would get it done, but I would try to use my charisma. Like if I started to fall behind or like in the semester I'm trying to cram and do whatever, I use my charisma. Like, you know, I'm well known, blah blah blah. Like I wouldn't say stuff like that, but you know, that's just the kind of thing people try to do. When I first got to college, I focused on my studies, like number one priority. You know, it was big because I got to college, you seen all these girls, you know, school we went to known for like a dance school as well. The dance school and athletes. So, you know, that's a good mix for us, but you know, it's a good mix for distraction as well. So I remember when I first got to school, I was always studying. No matter what. You know, I remember a few of my friends even saying, man, you'll be the last one to get some, blah, 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 you know. Lo and behold, I was the first. You know, because, you know, when you aren't out there chasing, like chasing, it comes to you with the intention that you're putting behind it, you know. So first balance, you know, do the stuff that is required to keep you there and to keep you in the situation that you're in, first and foremost. That's really the main thing, I would say. And then once you put yourself in position, that's when you start to make different decisions, you know?
So yeah, it's crazy that you brought that up because we was gonna talk about that later, but we might as well talk about it right now. So basically, like even we was at Dean, bro. Like anybody that goes to Dean, man, the woman out there is just crazy. But the crazy part is, it's like for us to be able to put our work in first and then have everything else on the back burner. Everybody can't do that. So just jumping into that portion of like the mindset, how are you able just to make sure that you always put yourself first, what you had to get done first, and let's say everything else came after that?
Well, mindset, first of all, for most people in the world, is the hardest thing. I came to school with that mindset because you can't. I mean, I'm not gonna say you can't, but when you're already in the situation, it's a lot tougher to make the decision on, am I gonna do this or not, versus before you get there and you say, all right, this is what I'm here for. You need to know what you're here for. But shit, Run that back one more time.
No, it's all good. Just basically, how were you able to keep a level head? Just being in that situation, being a college athlete, when you have a lot of distractions. How were you able just to filter out putting yourself first, then having everything else you can focus on everything else after that? Because a lot of people, they often just chase the women first. They get caught up being an athlete. Like don't lie, you play if you're an attractive type of dude, you play a sport. The women gonna come regardless, but they get caught up just chasing the women and not focusing on their main goal. So how are you able to keep focus on your main goal?
Man, as an athlete, for real, when I first got the Dean, I was there from JUCO perspective. So my main thing was I need to get out of here. Like, I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to go somewhere bigger and better, And I'll say it was the vision. I always kept a vision in my head of a lot of things, like the lifestyle that I wanted and why I was there. My whys. Really, the answer to the question was my whys. I knew my whys. I knew I had people at home like looking up to me, depending on me to be something, And I have a nephew, and he just turned 8. But like, I knew at the time he was a lot younger, but I knew like he's gonna look up to me because I'm the uncle, and I'm the person he's looking to get that to actually get that example. And I knew I was gonna have to be that example. And if you know me, and you know me pretty well, I don't like to settle for less. I don't like to be the weakest link. Like, that's just not me. And I'm naturally, when it comes into the school and to the balance and stuff, I remember I would always do my work. And when it comes to being a student athlete, we had to go to coaches and get our stuff signed, study hard, do all that. So, not including practice and all that. So, I would always get to where I needed to be, which would be most of the time study hall. And in study hall, that's when you really start to see the folks you want to be around.
Yeah.
Females, more on the female side, because I don't want no dummy. So I need to be in that library, get me around some females that actually being productive, got their own mindset, own situation. Not out here thotting all the time. But in that time, that's exactly what happened to me. I was doing my work. I was doing all my own work. Next thing you know, and I know this is good to say, but I got females on my side helping me with my work. Help me, because I'm a product of my own, but like help me out. But yeah, you can't get lost in the sauce, bro.
Nah,
Get
bro,
lost in the sauce.
it's crazy that you say that, because I ain't gonna say the particular name of the chick, but you know who was helping me with my math every week. So it was like, it's like it really comes with the territory. Like, people don't really understand that. Like, when you're an athlete and you actually have things going your way, you can use that to your advantage. But it's too many times when dudes, to me, I see that dudes get caught up in trying to fuck everything they can, and then it's like they don't value the friendship and having things where you could you mind helping me with this real quick, and they don't mind it because you're not dogging them out. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. All right. See, yeah. Nice. So that's the game. That's really the game. Like I said, there are the folks, my own partners used to tell me, bro, you're gonna be the last one to get some. You gonna blah blah. You don't never go out. So I was the first because I wasn't chasing. Like I said, when you're doing what you need to do, they see that. The ones that you want, see that. And once you start to get the ones that you want, and I can attest, after I got some of the girls that I got, I had other girls asking me, telling me actually, this is what we thought of you, blah, blah, like, you're awesome. Like, this is stuff that I'm being told. I didn't ask for it. They feel like that's the need. Like, oh, they see me with them. What's he got that they want? And I need to figure it out. So, yeah.
I'm telling you, like, one of the biggest things, because me and you used to have conversations all the time about it. It's like, bro, just because you're giving it up don't mean you got to take it. Like, just use that to your advantage, and then not even try to use her, but just have a friendship with the bro, because it's not always about just getting in the pants all the time. It's always about she can help you with other things. Like, you never know. You might see her in a job interview, or she might be a crucial part to a project you need in the near future.
Right.
So it's always just needing that connection. People don't even realize that when you always trying to get in the pants, like, that can ruin it for you. But dudes don't really understand it because of the society we live in.
Right. Well, all right. So getting on that topic, like, even deeper into that, it's really the longevity game. And I honestly should have started with this in the beginning when you asked me the original question. But with everything that I do, I think of the longevity game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, okay, you know, when you first see a female, or when you first see a coach, or, you know, just opportunity, you don't always have to run right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's appealing to the eye at the moment, or to the thought or the idea. But once you start to think about, okay, am I prepared for this yet? And you can pick and choose in some situations, but you always want to be prepared for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or prepare yourself to be in a situation. You don't always, like, for example, if we're talking about females, most of the times, if you overthink it, and you walk up, you overthink it, and you try to walk up, and you're stuttering and all that, probably just ain't gonna work. Or she might think it's cute. But the thing is like, all right, longevity game. I can go up and talk to her and just have a conversation and just break the ice. Or I can walk up and talk to her and just shoot my shot. And if I miss and she ain't fucking with me no more, then it's a wrap. I'd rather just have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that conversation just entails, okay, I'm having a conversation with you. This is how I started interacting with everybody socially. It all starts with one conversation, just about anything. It could be the stupidest thing, like, oh, you dropped that, blah, blah, in class. The next day, she might start the convo. Or she'll just be more inclined to say something. Hey, what's up? And then that's how it goes.
It's crazy, because I could attest to that, bro. It's like, the first day I met you, like, you came in, we helped me move there, then we was hanging out in the lobby. You was like, yo, go talk to Shawty over there. Like, you was like, yeah, go holler at her real quick. And then you know the background, but it's just like, it's just that simple scenario. And it's like, guys don't really understand. Like, I feel like nowadays people are so uncomfortable with talking to females, but they don't understand. All you have to do is have a simple conversation with them, and then that's all you have to do. It can lead to anything at that point. But if you go up to her and she shut you down from the jump because you was already trying to give her your number, it's like you don't know you don't even know her background. She might just got a relationship. She might be with a man. You never know.
You never know. And she might be with a man. Look, that's the main thing. It don't even matter. Really, the man don't even matter. But that goes into the longevity.
It's the principle.
Game.
Yeah.
It's the principle. You didn't have the conversation. You just had a conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
She with a man, but just because you had a regular conversation, she just gonna like that because she's in a relationship. So now she's being treated like she isn't in a relationship, which that's what they like. You know,
that is true.
That's what they like. Like, you know, being treated different because no, like, you know, a female can tell you they know that you know they're in a relationship just by how you look at them if you see them regularly. And then by your behavior versus somebody who doesn't know about her significant other at the time or whatever. And you just have a conversation and she's like, oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Because everybody that looks at her but doesn't approach her knows that she has a situation, but dude doesn't know, and so that just opened up a whole situation for him.
Like it's also not even about even if you do know, I play dumb. I don't act like I don't know. I act like I do, cause look, it's not about because it's not like I'm about to go up there and I'm gonna try to get in the pants off rip. Like that's dudes don't understand. Like y'all like don't get me wrong. I could if I really wanted to, I could, but it's not about that. It's about just simply having a conversation with a bro, making them feel uncomfortable. And they don't understand where you talk to a female and they not comfortable with you, and it's like you wonder why. You wonder why she don't respond to your text. You wonder why she don't answer your phone calls. It's because the first day you already try to get her off rip. It should even been that deep.
You got, like I said, you gotta look at it as a sale. I'm in the sales now, and you're not just gonna walk up to the customer and be like, "You want this?" That's not how it works. First of all, you gotta discover the need. Mm-hmm. First of all, you gotta break the ice. Have a conversation with them. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah. I compliment them. I like so and so that you got on. My name's blah blah blah. What's yours?
Yep.
That, and then, this is why I'm talking to you.
Yeah. That's a simple way. That's a simple way. Dudes understand that. But bringing it back to the I want to ask you about the physical preparation that you go through, because as a football player, I know it could be a lot harder than basketball players because y'all go through y'all get hit and everything. So how did you mentally prepare for that? Even when things weren't going your way on the field, how were you able to stay mentally strong during that time frame?
As an athlete, like I said, you got to make the decision to commit to what you're doing. But also, this as an athlete in general. Like, all athletes know this. Any person in this world knows this. You just got to relate it. Is you have to go into it with the mindset. Like, you have to prepare yourself over, like, you know how those 2 days used to be. You waking up early. 2 weeks of 2 days to a month of 2 days is just preseason. It's a different realm that a lot of people don't and can't handle.
People don't understand that hell week. That hell week is something crazy.
Exactly. So in preparation, I just prep myself the way that you would for like the first day of school. Make sure you got everything. Make sure you got everything you're going to need in that bag that you're going to need to bring to that class in relation to like the athletic part. I would treat my body right. You can't just run on fumes. You got to actually get that sleep. You got to you got to do the things that you care about, the necessity for your body. You got to stretch. You got to do those kind of things. Like, and then, but mentally, that's what's going to get you through. Like, that mental aspect. Like, I remember I done been there in days when I'm like, man, I can't handle this, bro. Like, I done been there and I done seen it. And I don't like what it looked like on the outside. So you gotta push through. Like, you really do gotta push through, because if you're not prepping, if you're not treating your body with the respect that you would give, like, you shouldn't give anybody more respect than yourself. If you want like the best results for yourself. If I respect myself the most, people slip up. We like to have fun and do whatever. But if I respect myself the most, like, damn, I want to be the best, and I respect myself as the best, I'm going to give myself the best recovery.
Yeah.
I'm going to, after practice, I'm going to get in that ice bath. I hate ice baths. I'm going to get in that ice bath, because I know that's what's going to get my body right for tomorrow. It's getting past that fear, that when that fear starts to linger, that fear and uncertainty, which is what is going to get in your way for the preparation physically. You said physically, but I'm talking about physically, mentally, and spiritually. Like, that fear and that uncertainty, that's what's going to get you. As soon as you let that thought get in your head, it got you.
Yeah.
You know, unless you can just push it out. But you know,
I definitely can relate to that because even just going to Dean, just being on that team because we was one of the top teams in the nation. Just it's coming in, and with that mindset, it can be tough at times because I personally didn't know what I was walking into till I got there. Then it's
right.
it's like being an athlete. It's like that sudden switch you have to turn on. It's straight business. So I understand where you're coming from, where that fear could kick in. That's just something you just got to power through mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and also I wanted to ask you too because I know being at Dean, man, there was parties every weekend. If you was an athlete, you know there was parties every weekend. So how was you able to balance that out? Just saying no, I'm not gonna go this weekend. And being able to get your stuff done. I know we talked about that a little bit earlier, but just being in that surrounding area because there's literally party. Like I said, if you go to Dean, you know if you're an athlete, there's parties every weekend. Women every week. So how are you able just to say no to some days and keep your first?
Well, first of all, I was a public figure on the campus. So I had to play my cards right at all times. Also, remember how, it goes back onto what we were saying about when you do what you're supposed to do to be in a situation, the things just come to you. I like to turn up and have fun and do all that, of course. But what are the things that people go to the parties for? To find that other, man or female, to just, get the vibes. People like to dance, just have fun, be around people socially, and to get drunk. Get drunk, and do whatever you need to do to get you to your most comfortable point at that night, just to have fun. But the main one, as a man in college, is to go find that female when you go to that party, especially in school at Dean as well. But I can say most of the time when I wouldn't go, I already was in a situation with a female, which in hand, I didn't need to go to the party because I was getting what I really wanted at the end anyway, already. I was getting that in the first place, so I didn't need to go to the parties. And, not necessarily, I won't just always say sexual, but, just having that company. People just like to have company, right?
Yeah.
So I was already getting all of that anyway.
No,
but also you got to make a decision. Yeah.
No, I know for sure. So is there any advice that you would give to a kid that wants to play at a high level? Because I know you also went from Dean, you went D1. So is there any kid that yes, sir. So if there's anything, is there any advice that you would give to a kid that would want to play at a high level that their coach wouldn't tell them?
Yeah. First of all, I was always told this since I was like preschool. I remember this. You can do anything. You can do anything you set your mind to. And, a lot of people used to be like, why me? Used to be like a why me kind of person. Even I was that kind of kid growing up, I'd be acting out, do whatever, just why me? Why is this happening? I can do anything I put my mind to. Trials and tribulations. Don't just fall and think that was it. You got to keep on getting up and just keep on going. You got to find it. You got to really figure out what it is, what your purpose is behind doing what you're doing, and why. Grades, school, the reason I ended up at JUCO, the reason why we even know each other is because I got lost in the sauce in high school. I was getting all these looks. I had LSU, I had Louisville, I had Florida, Cincinnati. Like, I'm in the South, bro, and it doesn't get much better than that. Like, I had everything that I needed for the success that I wanted, but because I got lost in the sauce, didn't get my grades right. I ended up at JUCO. Got a JUCO. Still, you could ask me this a few years ago when I was still at Dean. People talk down on JUCO life, but bro, I loved it. You know, I wouldn't take it back. A lot of lessons in this lifestyle that we all live that you gotta really appreciate. So do what you need to in the beginning and don't procrastinate at all. Network, I'll say that. One of the biggest things is network, because a lot of people, a lot of situations only happen because you knew a person who knew a person who knew another person who was in position. And you don't always have that situation. And a lot of it's just out there in limbo because they didn't have that one conversation with one person. So have those conversations. Don't procrastinate. Know your purpose and know the whys.
So also, so is there something that that allowed you to have that killer mentality when you were on the football field? Because I know a lot of people, they, especially being from JUCO, playing JUCO life, you see the kill to be killed when you go there. Because a lot of people, this is either it for them. They're either gonna make it or they're not, and they're gonna go back home. So is there something that helped you develop that killer mentality when you're on the field?
Oh, well, personally, I was the youngest boy growing up in my family. So they used to try to do me in. So I didn't, you know, I was just the smallest. I was the youngest by 5 years. So like everyone was significantly older than me. And I always had to compete. So I just never liked to lose. But I've always been the athlete that, you know, you can always talk trash, but I was always more the silent killer most of the time, because I admire the being humble route, and I feel that the best athletes and the best at what they do are the humble ones. And yeah, we got the flashy ones and all that. I can be flashy too, but that's after the fact. That all comes after the fact of you proving what you are and where you've come from. So, you know, I'll say when I first got to Dean, they thought I was a quarterback. I'm a defensive end, outside linebacker. They thought I was a quarterback on some Jameis Winston. They literally called me Jameis. And then they put me on the D-line. And I remember the buddy of mine who was on the D-line with me, and a few months passed. He was like, actually, it wasn't even a few months past. It was after the first game. But he was like, bro, I ain't even going to lie to you. I thought you were going to be buns. Like, you was small. I thought you was going to be trash. But I had a different mentality. I don't like to lose, no matter how big or small I am compared to anybody. I don't like to lose. I don't like to be on the losing side of the field. It's, those losses that I have taken is the reason why I'm winning. So, you know, you gotta take those losses or lessons and make them into wins. And that's what gave me, you know, my mentality. I don't like to lose on any platform, to be honest.
No, I definitely understand where you're coming from. A lot of people nowadays, they too friendly when it comes to a competition. Like, they lose and they think it's okay. But I mean, just being in that competitive nature, that's something that a lot of people, I mean, they can be born with it. I mean, or they can adopt it later in life. But a lot of people are just born with it. And that's something that me and you always had in common. It's just like, we just hate to lose, period.
Exactly. And a lot of the generations below us, I'll say, they have the participation award. And I remember when I was growing up, they started trying to do that. It wasn't working with our parents, because they was like, either you win, like, you come first, second, or third. Ain't no fourth, fifth participation, none of that. Like, you reap the rewards, like, you reap the benefits when you are the best. That's really where it comes from. And there are a lot of things in society who's changed who's changed the dynamics behind those kind of mentalities.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta keep an eye out for that.
And one last thing I want to ask you before I let you go, is when it comes to putting in work, a lot of kids nowadays, they don't understand the amount of work they have to put in off the field when the coach isn't watching. So what is something that that helped you be ambitious during that time when the coach didn't necessarily, you didn't want to go put in the work? Or I know you also mentioned it was one of your whys of knowing why you wanted to do things, but is it something else that helped you get in the gym when everybody else was out partying and everybody else was sleeping?
That work, boy. I feel like you can't even get there. I feel like you can't even have an answer for that. Like you just gotta know. Your reason should motivate you to want to work.
Mm-hmm.
The work is not fun, but just don't think about it. Just do it. That's my answer actually. Just don't think about it. Just do it. Literally,
Yeah.
Nike, just do it, because if I'm thinking about it, there's a lot of things that if I'm thinking about it too hard,
you ain't gonna get it done.
I ain't gonna get it done, because it's like, all right, now I done let that one thought get in my head, and I'm feeling a whole lot better here laying in bed watching this Netflix or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Or, a lot of times, even I'll say when I go to the gym, I'll go to the gym 5-6 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to that point where you go that amount of times throughout the week, there'll be days when you almost don't know what to do. You don't really have anything to really do, You basically hit everything. And then you could easily be like, man, I ain't going today.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just go in there. A lot of my workouts over this past year, I just show up. I'm just in there. And even if I don't know what I'm doing yet, or if I'm not feeling it, if I'm in there, I'm going to get it done. I'm gonna start working, because I'm gonna look around and be like, dang, why am I in here? Because I'm trying to work. I want the results. Like, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree. So before I let you go, what is your typical day like nowadays? Now after the college career is over, so is it like you be busy with work, or how's your day really set up now?
Well, my day's a lot better now.
Mm-hmm.
My day's a lot better now after I completed my college lifestyle. I started working, and I went into sales. And the reason I went into sales is just because I can have control over my lifestyle and my income. I can literally have control. I have that in my hands. It's just all based off of the work. So, but my days have changed because of this little quarantine thing, but I'm still working, so I'm still blessed.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 3 months I've been doing a little challenge, and it's basically not like a 90-day challenge. But I fumbled on the requirements under a month ago. But I was waking up 6 a.m. if not before, taking 2-minute cold showers. I always give myself challenges, semen retention. It's really a thing, and that's funny because so many people, like, growing up, all my homeboys, if you said that shit back then, wasn't gonna work, man. Wasn't gonna work. Like, we'll be like, boy, quit playing. But when you start to see the science behind the lifestyle that you live in, and the stuff that you're doing, and everything that you release, bro, it all makes a difference. Like,
it's crazy that you brought that up, bro. I'm gonna have to have you on here for a different podcast talk about that stuff, because it's because on my Instagram I literally talk about the semen retention, and people look at me like I'm crazy, and like the cold showers, like it's nothing like working out and taking a cold shower and doing the semen retention, bro. You as a man, it's just a feeling that you can't explain. Like,
right.
you just feel yourself. It like you go from here to up here. It's like you can't really explain
Right.
it, and people look at me crazy when I talk about it. But I say it was really a thing that people
can feel that energy.
Yes, it's all about your energy.
It's the life force. You gotta have me back on that one.
It's crazy. It's crazy you talk about it, bro, because I preach it all the time. People look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm like, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, but when you drinking your water every day, you do the semen retention, take a cold shower, bro. It's like if you're living a certain type of way and you switch up your lifestyle and do that, bro, it's like it's just an unexplainable feeling. I can't. We're gonna have to come back on another episode to talk about.
Facts. Yeah, nah, for sure.
For sure.
Let me think. All right. So I said I'm waking up 6 a.m. Sometimes, I wake up later, but 6 a.m. Meditate, read a book. Sometimes.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but could you talk about the importance of reading something every day? Because during this quarantine, people, I guarantee people just FaceTiming girls all day. They playing video games all day. They don't really understand the mental stimulation that you get from reading a book. Could you just briefly talk about that real quick?
Man, reading a book, first of all, your mind's a magnet, if you want to get on that. So we all have frequencies and your mind's a magnet. So the stuff that you put in and you show your brain and the stuff that you're starting to learn about, you start to regurgitate, and then you start to see it. And I can say this, every time I read something, I start to see it and I start to experience it, because now I'm more aware of what I've just learned. And what's the saying? Once you hear about something, or once you see, you can't unsee it.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it is. You gotta read. This life is about learning. You don't wanna be ignorant. When it comes into having happiness, I'll say happiness, because everyone's happiness looks different. It all comes with knowledge, and it all comes with balance. And you gotta feed your brain the way you would feed your body, and you gotta nourish it. And if you just always in the phone, having pointless conversations, toxic conversations, stuff that don't matter, it's all a distraction. It's all a distraction if you can't reel it all back in, read, and get that balance.
No, I definitely agree. That's what life is all about, that balance. So if anybody wants to have any questions for you, would you mind just dropping your contact information for them?
Yeah. So y'all can follow me on IG at WhitTheReal, WHIT_TheReal1.
Got you. No,
Yes,
go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it.
Oh, and one final question I want to ask you before I let you go. What's something that you're most grateful for?
God. That's the one.
No, you right. Especially during all the time we live in right now, during this coronavirus, man. It says something. It says something about you.
I'm the most grateful for God, bro. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So I definitely want to have you on part 2 to talk about the mindset. Like I said, the semen retention. I'm definitely gonna have you back on here, bro. So shoot me a schedule. Let me know. But I appreciate you taking time out your day to talk with me and give great advice.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm honored that you could have me in and reach out, and that I can share knowledge. I just wrote down what I write in one of my books literally the other day. It was like my intention for this month. And I literally said, I am magnanimous and prosperous and abundant in wisdom and leadership. Meaning, magnanimous means you're just generous in the most humble way. But I said in that with knowledge and wisdom and leadership. So you put me in position, and like I said, I've been reading, I've been doing all that, and look how the universe did this. So yeah, yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Anytime, my man.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe or to leave us a review on iTunes or the listening platform of your choice. Also, please check us out at QuinnMitchellII.com. as well as find us on Instagram for more useful content and resources.